Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. This is Fishman log number 78, and before I get to some of the annoying things that have happened this week, I want to show you this clip because this has grown up so nicely and it's doing very, very well. And I wanted this clip to be close to the intro clip because the very first part of the intro is relatively close to when I first set this whole thing up, so it will give you a reasonably close comparison to how well it's grown. And overall, I'm very happy with this pond. Everything's doing really well. Even the peace lily here in this makeshift flower pot filter is starting to grow, as you can see. And the guppies, all the ones I put in, obviously I'm not counting them, but all the ones I see, they're nice and healthy, happy, active, and the shrimp are doing really well. And even that little one lone white cloud that's in there is growing quite nicely. So I couldn't be more happy with how this has turned out. There's obviously still lots more to do with it, but the progress is great. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't expect more from it. So there we go. Now let's get on to some of the other things that happened this week. Now, as you know, I've been setting up and getting two bettas accustomed to each other, and as you can see, the males produced, a nice sized bubble nest, and seems to like her. And now that she's settled in for a couple of days, she also seems to be, not, if not actively interested in him, at least doing really well. And I've been fattening them up, as you can see here, on some scuds. And, basically everything was going quite well. But if you remember from the summer, I had covered the pond, the little tubs I was using to breed them in. And, well, there's a reason for that. And she has at some point in time gotten frisky or something and has jumped out. So here she is. This is Saturday morning and he's more than excited to have her out. She's not terribly thrilled with this. I don't think he's damaged her at this point. I'm definitely going to isolate them and keep them away from each other because I want her to fatten up some more, but hopefully that won't cause any problems. And the other weird thing is this is a female zebra, and she had it a mouthful. I put her in this tank, and I have no idea what's going on with her. She has spit out some of the fry. You can see they still have yolk sacs. These ones here are doing fine, but there's a couple on top of these ones, you can see here in a second, that are dead. I don't know what happened. I've never seen this before with an African, and she's definitely going to be removed from the gene pool. I will put her in one of my clients' tanks because I definitely don't want whatever this behavior is to spread into the rest of the population. So that'll be the end of breeding her. And this guy has been so skittish for so long. This is the one lone baby corridor from the wild group that I got that is growing up and doing, as you can see, really, really well. And he usually just hides the second I bring the camera out, but he's getting more accustomed to me being around in the fish room, and he stayed out long enough for me to actually record him. And of course, this is doing very, very well. So the rest of this video is actually going to be fine. It was just that two things that just unfortunately are going to set me back a little bit on how I want to do, well, first off, breeding bettas and of course everything else. So this I want to extend. I want to extend this pipe so that I'm getting a little bit more air and flow up into the chamber to increase the humidity. And that was the plan. I was going to do that. That's why I recorded this part of it. I actually went to the extent of cutting the pipe and drilling the holes in it. But unfortunately, this filter is a friction fit. So I have to take a good chunk of the filter apart to get this to a point where I can insert this tube. So I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to leave this as is for the moment, and sometime in the future I will, once this is to the point where it will be, I'm fine with how it's working, I will obviously try to augment it to get more flow. So as you remember from my last video, I had put together a regulated automatic water changer, sort of. Well, one that you can actually just dial how much you want the water change to be. So I need to get that all set up now, and this is the pipe that normally goes on that pump, but it's obviously way too long to fit in, in here first, and then of course also into the aquarium, because it's the overall length free space that I can slide things down to in all my aquariums is about 8 inches, so I need to shorten this. So I started off by drilling a bunch of holes much closer to the screw-on fitting for it, and then I didn't want to cut up another sponge, so I am going to adapt one of the sponge filter sponges for this for at least the short term. So there are the extra holes. I've cut off the end bit, and that cap with the fitting on the pump, this fits nice and snugly. So that is pretty much good to go now. After running it, which you're going to see here in the next clip, I don't like the sponge. It is too fine a pour, and it is slowing this process down way too much. I am going to obviously have to put a much more coarse sponge on this. I do have one, but it's currently out of clients. I am using the diatom filter there to get rid of some algae that was free-floating algae. So once that's done, I'll obviously bring that setup back, and I'll switch the sponge out and see if that one's good. And if that one's fine, and I'll just cut up one of the mini sponges that I have and use that, because I do prefer keeping that more open sponge for the diatom filter, because it really does work well on that. Other than that, this works perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues with it. I am in the fish room, as you can see me in the shadows there walking back and forth. I'm doing some other work, and this is exactly the reason why I like this style. I just clip it over. It takes, as you're going to see here in a moment, a matter of seconds to switch from tank to tank. And that's it. I don't really have to keep an eye on it at all. If it happens to run dry, it'll start making chugging sounds, and it's easy enough to hear in the fish room. And as you can see, it doesn't matter, because as soon as you switch it to another tank, it starts right up again. I did all the whole row here, but I didn't bother. I mean, this video clip is already getting long enough. I'm not going to show it all to you there. So, and then it's just a simple matter going along with my hose for filling up tanks, and I filled them all up. So on a better note for fish acting the way I hoped they would, these are the Colombian Tetras I got, and I noticed this behavior Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not sure exactly, but they're definitely getting interested in spawning, which is excellent, because they've been in the fish room long enough now that they've gotten acclimated, and now I want to probably set up them a bit more specifically for breeding. I do like these fish. I actually prefer to breed these than the Bosmania rainbows, because as you can see, the Bosmania rainbows just take forever to grow, and I want something that grows a little faster. And these are a lovely fish, and are perfectly for schooling in my clients' tanks. So that might be the plan going forward. These are doing very well. I finally got everything balanced the way I like it. So I add specific amounts of hay at specific times, and everything just does really well. All the cultures are really stable now, and there's literally no odor whatsoever from them, so I'm very happy with these, and I want to expand these first into more jars, and then I'm going to dedicate a 15-gallon tank to this and get culturing on a much bigger scale. So that's pretty much today's video. Some bad stuff, some good stuff. Pretty much, how things in a fish room go. I just didn't want to always show you the stuff that works. There are always things that just don't seem to do what they should do. These filters are doing fine, of course, and you're going to see a little clip of Ripley here in a second. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for taking the time to come by my channel and watch what I do here. And as always, leave comments, suggestions, anything you like for future videos, what you've seen, anything at all. Any experiences that you've had is all much appreciated. And I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.